The strange new world. Jake had always dreamed of exploring new worlds. As a scientist, he had spent years studying alien life, but nothing prepared him for what he was about to see. When he landed on the vibrant planet of Silara, he was filled with excitement and curiosity. The sky glowed a bright purple, and strange plants grew everywhere, their colors more vivid than anything he had seen on Earth. As he stepped out of his spaceship, the air was warm and smelled sweet, like a mix of flowers and fruits. Jake took a deep breath and felt the thrill of adventure. He looked around, his eyes wide with wonder. The landscape was unlike anything he had imagined. Towering trees with glowing leaves swayed gently in the breeze, and colorful creatures flitted about, making soft, melodic sounds. It felt like he had entered a different world entirely. Jake walked cautiously, noting the strange plants and creatures. Some plants had leaves shaped like fans, while others looked like giant mushrooms. He carefully took samples, excited to learn more about this unique environment. Suddenly, a bright flash caught his eye. He turned to see 4 figures emerging from behind a cluster of trees. They were unlike any aliens Jake had ever seen. The girls were tall and slender, with shimmering skin that sparkled in the light. Each girl had different features. One had long, flowing hair that changed colors with the light, while another had bright blue eyes that seemed to glow. They wore simple outfits made of strange, soft material that hugged their bodies. Jake felt his heart race as he approached them. The alien girls looked at him with curiosity and intrigue. One of them stepped forward, her expression friendly but intense. "You are human," she said, her voice musical and clear. "We have not seen your kind before." Jake swallowed hard. "Yes, I am Jake. I came here to study your planet and learn about your life." He felt both nervous and excited to be talking to beings from another world. The girls exchanged glances, and Jake noticed a change in their expressions. They looked anxious, almost desperate. The girl with the flowing hair stepped closer to him, her blue eyes locking onto his. "We need your help," she said softly. "It is a difficult time for us." Jake's curiosity was piqued. "What do you mean? How can I help?" He wanted to understand what was going on. The girl took a deep breath. "We are in heat. It is a natural cycle for our kind. During this time, we need special care." She hesitated, glancing at her friends. "We do not know how to manage it alone." Jake was taken aback. He had read about alien mating cycles, but he had never thought he would be faced with one in real life. He felt a mix of surprise and intrigue. "What do you need from me?" he asked, trying to keep his voice steady. The girls looked at each other again, and the one with blue eyes stepped closer, her voice dropping to a whisper. "We need someone to help us during this time. It is essential for our survival and well-being." Jake's mind raced. This was an unexpected turn in his journey, and he was both intrigued and cautious. He thought about the ethical implications and what it would mean to get involved. But the desperation in their eyes pulled at his heart. "Okay," he said slowly, "I will help you." He could feel the weight of this decision. Little did he know that this choice would change his life forever. As Jake began to understand more about these alien girls and their needs, he realized that his adventure had just begun. The strange new world of Silara was full of wonders, challenges, and emotions he never expected to face. First meeting with the alien girls. Jake stood in awe as the 4 alien girls approached him. They moved gracefully, their shimmering skin catching the light in a way that made them look almost ethereal. Jake felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness as he watched them come closer. He could hear the soft rustle of their outfits and the light thumping of their feet against the ground. The girl with the flowing hair was the first to speak again. "I am Lyra," she said with a warm smile. Her voice was gentle, yet it held a strength that made Jake feel at ease. "These are my friends, Mira, Kira, and Juna." Each girl nodded as their names were called, their eyes sparkling with curiosity. "Nice to meet you all," Jake replied, trying to hide his nervousness. I'm here to learn about your planet and your people. He gestured to the stunning landscape around them, hoping to start a friendly conversation. Mira, who had bright blue eyes, stepped forward. There is so much to show you. Our planet is full of wonders, but right now we have urgent needs. Her tone shifted slightly, and Jake could sense the weight of her words. Of course, he said, eager to help. What do you want me to know about your needs? Kira, with her short, spiky hair, looked a bit shy. It is complicated, she said, glancing at the others. During this time, we need connection. It helps us feel balanced. Jake felt his heart race. He remembered Lyra's earlier explanation about their heat cycle. Connection, he asked, trying to understand. Yes, Juna chimed in. Her voice was soft, yet it carried a hint of urgency. It is different for us. We thrive on closeness, on understanding. Without it, we feel lost. She stepped a little closer, her expression sincere. Jake thought for a moment. He had never been in a situation like this before. He wanted to be respectful and supportive, but he also felt out of his depth. What do you mean by closeness? He asked, genuinely curious. Lyra took a step closer, her eyes locking onto Jake's. It means we need someone to share our feelings with, to help us feel safe and cared for. It is a time when our emotions are strong, and we need comfort. Jake nodded, feeling a growing connection with them. I understand. I will do my best to help. As the girls relaxed, their smiles returned. The atmosphere lightened, and Jake felt a sense of camaraderie forming. He began to ask questions about their home. What's your planet like? What do you like to do for fun? Mira's face lit up. We love to explore the crystal caves. They glow with colors that dance in the dark. Her enthusiasm was infectious. And we play games under the stars, Kira added, her shyness fading as she joined the conversation. We have contests to see who can catch the most light creatures. Light creatures, Jake repeated, intrigued. Yes, Juma exclaimed. They are small, glowing beings that float through the air. It is a lot of fun. As they talked, Jake began to feel more comfortable. He found himself laughing at their stories and sharing tales from Earth. The connection he felt with these alien girls grew stronger with every word. He realized that while they were different, they also shared many similarities: curiosity, laughter, and the desire for connection. The sun began to set, casting a warm orange glow over the landscape. Jake looked at the girls, feeling a sense of purpose. I'm here for you, and I want to learn everything I can about your world. Their smiles widened, and for the first time, Jake felt a sense of belonging in this strange new world. He knew this journey would be unlike any other, and he was ready to embrace it. Understanding their needs. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Jake sat with Lyra, Mira, Kira, and Juma in a small clearing surrounded by glowing plants. The warm air buzzed with soft sounds from the creatures of Laura, creating a calming atmosphere. Jake felt an unusual blend of excitement and responsibility, realizing that he was in the middle of something important. The girls were sharing more about their world and the intricacies of their biology. Jake leaned in, eager to learn. So, what exactly happens during this heat cycle? He asked, trying to sound as respectful as possible. Lyra looked at him with her bright eyes. During this time, our emotions and instincts are heightened. We feel stronger connections to each other and to those around us. It's a natural part of our life cycle, she explained. Mira added, if we don't have that connection, we can feel anxious or restless. It's like a wave of energy that needs to be shared. Jake nodded, trying to absorb all the information. And you need someone to help you with that connection. Yes, Kira replied, her voice soft but firm. We need someone to understand us, to support us emotionally. It helps us feel balanced and safe. Jake felt a weight on his shoulders. He understood that they were looking for more than just physical comfort. They needed emotional connection and trust. I want to help you, But I don't want to overstep, he said, his tone serious. I don't know much about alien customs. Juma smiled gently. That's why we are glad you are here. We can teach you. She reached out and touched Jake's arm lightly, creating a spark of warmth that spread through him. We want you to understand our needs. Feeling encouraged, Jake asked, what do you like to do to connect? How can I help you feel safe? Lyra smiled and gestured to the glowing plants around them. We enjoy sharing stories and experiences. It helps us bond. Let's share something personal, Kira suggested. It makes the connection deeper. Jake thought for a moment. He was nervous but also curious about their stories. Okay, I'll start, he said, taking a deep breath. On Earth, I loved hiking in the mountains. I felt free up there, away from everything. Nature has always given me peace. As he spoke, the girls listened intently, their expressions warm and encouraging. He felt more relaxed as he shared his love for the outdoors, his childhood adventures, and his dreams of exploration. When he finished, Mira smiled brightly. That was beautiful, Jake. Nature is important for us too, but we connect with it differently. Jake turned to the girls, eager to learn more. What do you do for fun when you're not in heat? Lyra's eyes sparkled with excitement. We love to dance under the stars. The lights from the sky mix with our energy and create beautiful patterns. It feels magical. Dancing sounds wonderful, Jake exclaimed. Can I join you sometime? Of course, Juma said, her enthusiasm infectious. We would love to teach you our dances. It's a great way to connect. As they shared stories and laughter, Jake realized that he was beginning to understand their needs on a deeper level. It wasn't just about physical touch. It was about trust, respect, and emotional closeness. He felt a growing bond with the girls, and he was determined to support them through this challenging time. With the stars beginning to twinkle in the sky above, Jake felt a sense of purpose. He was no longer just an outsider in a strange world. He was becoming part of something special. This journey was not just about science or exploration. It was about connection, understanding, and friendship. He was ready to embrace whatever came next. Making a deal. The stars began to twinkle in the night sky as Jake sat with the 4 alien girls in their glowing clearing. The atmosphere felt electric with possibility. After sharing stories and laughter, Jake felt a growing sense of connection to Lyra, Mira, Kira, and Juna. He knew he wanted to help them during this challenging time, but he also needed to set some boundaries. I want to support you, Jake said, looking into their eyes. But I think we need to make some kind of deal. I don't want to overstep or make anyone uncomfortable. Lyra nodded, her expression serious. That is wise, Jake. We appreciate your honesty. We want this to be a safe space for everyone. Mira added, a deal can help us understand each other better. It can guide our time together. Jake felt relieved. He wanted to be clear about his intentions and ensure the girls felt comfortable. How about this? I'll be here for you during this heat cycle, and I'll help you with emotional support. In return, I'd like to learn about your culture and your world. Kira's eyes lit up. That sounds fair. We will teach you about our ways, and you will help us feel balanced during this time. Jake smiled, feeling a sense of teamwork forming. Great, but I think we should set some rules too. For example, let's agree to communicate openly about how we feel. If something doesn't feel right, we should say so. Juna clapped her hands in delight. Yes, communication is key. We will be honest with you, and you can be honest with us. With the foundation of their agreement laid out, Jake felt more at ease. It was important to him that they all felt safe and respected. What else should we include in our deal? He asked, wanting to make sure nothing was left out. Lyra thought for a moment. We should agree to take breaks if needed. If any of us feels overwhelmed, we can pause and talk about it. That's a good idea, Jake replied. It's important that we check in with each other regularly. Mira chimed in. And we should also have fun. Let's make sure to enjoy our time together. We can explore the planet, dance, and learn about each other. I love that, Jake said, feeling his excitement build. We'll balance helping each other with having fun. With their deal taking shape, the girls began to share more about their needs during this heat cycle. They explained how emotional support could come in many forms, sharing stories, dancing, and even just being close to one another. The girls felt comforted by Jake's presence, and they wanted to build on that connection. Let's make this a journey for all of us, Kira suggested. We can learn from each other and grow together. Jake nodded, feeling inspired. Exactly. I'm looking forward to learning everything I can from you all. I want to experience SciFi through your eyes. With the stars shining brightly above, the group felt a sense of unity. They were no longer just a human and four alien girls. They were friends embarking on a unique adventure together. As they sealed their agreement with a shared smile, Jake felt a warmth in his heart. This journey was about more than just research. It was about connection and understanding. He was ready to face the challenges ahead, and he knew that together, they could navigate this strange new world. With excitement bubbling in the air, the group began to discuss their next steps. They planned to explore the glowing forests of SciFi, share more stories, and enjoy the magic of the night together. Jake felt a sense of purpose, knowing he was part of something special. An extraordinary journey filled with friendship and discovery. Discovering alien biology. The next morning, Jake woke up to the sound of soft chirping from the creatures outside. He stretched and smiled, feeling excited about the day ahead. The girls had planned to show him more about their biology and how it connected to their emotions. He felt a sense of purpose, ready to learn more about his new friends. After a quick breakfast of sweet fruits that the girls had gathered, they set out into the vibrant forest. The air was fresh, and the plants glowed softly in the sunlight. Jake walked beside Lyra, Mira, Kira, and Juna, taking in the beauty around him. As they reached a small clearing filled with strange flowers, Lyra turned to Jake. This is one of our special places. Here we can connect with nature and ourselves. She knelt beside a flower that shimmered in multiple colors. These flowers react to our emotions. When we are happy, they glow brighter. When we are sad, they dim. Jake leaned closer, fascinated. That's incredible. So, your emotions can influence the plants around you? Yes, Mira explained, her blue eyes sparkling with excitement. Our biology is linked to the environment. It helps us feel connected to everything around us. As they explored the clearing, Jake noticed how the girls interacted with the plants. When Kira touched a flower, it brightened in response. "See, it knows how I feel," she exclaimed, her face lighting up with joy. Jake was amazed. That's so unique. It's like nature can sense your feelings. He jotted down notes, eager to remember everything. This was more than just a research trip. It was a chance to understand a different way of life. Next, the girls took Jake to a small stream. The water sparkled under the sunlight, and he could see small, glowing fish swimming happily. These fish also respond to our emotions, Juna explained. When we are calm, they swim peacefully. But when we are excited, they move around quickly. Jake knelt by the water, watching the fish. "This is such a beautiful place," he said, feeling a sense of peace wash over him. "I can see why you love it here." Lyra smiled, then turned serious. "But it's not just about the plants and animals. Our biology is different from yours. During our heat cycle, our bodies change in ways you might not expect." "What do you mean?" Jake asked, intrigued but cautious. Mira stepped forward, her voice steady. "During this time, our bodies produce special hormones. These hormones make us feel more energetic and emotional. They heighten our senses and create a strong desire for connection." Jake listened carefully, his curiosity deepening. "How does that affect you?" Kira chimed in. "It makes us feel more vulnerable, but also more alive. We crave touch and closeness, which is why it's important to have someone like you during this time." Jake nodded, trying to understand. So, it's about more than just physical needs. It's also emotional and mental, right? Yes, Juna said, her face glowing with enthusiasm. You are starting to understand us. Our biology is a part of who we are, and it shapes our experiences. Feeling inspired, Jake asked, "Can you teach me more about your bodies? I want to understand everything." Lyra nodded. "Of course, we can show you our special features and how we communicate with each other through touch and energy." As they continued their exploration, Jake felt a growing bond with the girls. They were sharing parts of themselves that were deeply personal, and he felt honored to be included in their world. The day was filled with laughter, learning, and the discovery of new things. Jake knew he was stepping into uncharted territory, but he was ready to embrace every moment. This journey was becoming more than just a study of alien life. It was a journey of connection, understanding, and friendship. The heat cycle hits. As the days passed on Xilara, Jake felt more at home with Lyra, Mira, Kira, and Juna. They spent their mornings exploring the glowing forests and afternoons learning about each other's worlds. However, Jake could sense a change in the air. The atmosphere felt charged, almost electric, and he noticed the girls growing more restless as the heat cycle approached. One afternoon, as they sat together in a shaded grove, Jake watched the girls closely. Lyra seemed a little more tense than usual, her bright eyes darting around. Mira kept fidgeting with her hair, and Kira's smile didn't reach her eyes anymore. Juna, usually cheerful, looked deep in thought. "Is everything okay?" Jake asked, his concern growing. "You all seem different today." The girls exchanged glances, and Lyra sighed. "The heat cycle is starting soon," she said softly. "We can feel it in our bodies and emotions." Jake's heart raced. He had learned about their cycle, but had not fully understood its impact until now. "What does that mean for you?" he asked, wanting to be supportive. Mira spoke up, her voice tinged with urgency. "It means we will feel stronger emotions, especially a desire for closeness. We need connection more than ever, and it can be overwhelming." Kira nodded, her cheeks flushed. "We may feel restless, anxious, or even confused. It's important for us to have someone who understands." Jake felt a wave of understanding wash over him. "I'm here for you," he assured them. "Just tell me what you need." As the sun began to set, the air grew warmer, thick with tension. The girls' restlessness was palpable, and Jake could feel it too. The soft glow of the plants seemed to pulse with energy, mirroring the emotions swirling around them. "Let's dance," Juna suggested suddenly, her eyes shining with excitement. "It will help us connect and release some of this energy." Jake nodded, wanting to support them. "That sounds great. Show me your dance." The girls led him to a small open area where the plants glowed brighter under the twilight sky. Lyra took Jake's hand, pulling him closer. "Just follow our movements," she said, her voice steady but her eyes filled with emotion. As they began to dance, Jake tried to keep up with their fluid movements. The girls moved gracefully, their bodies swaying to a rhythm that seemed to come from the earth itself. Jake felt a rush of energy as he joined in, but he also sensed the girls' heightened emotions. Lyra's touch felt electric, and Mira's laughter was both joyous and tinged with urgency. Suddenly, the mood shifted. The girls' movements became more intense, and Jake could see the heat of their emotions reflected in their expressions. They were no longer just dancing. They were expressing something deeper, something primal. "Let go," Kira shouted, her voice filled with excitement. "Feel the energy. Embrace it." Jake closed his eyes, allowing the music of the night and the energy of the girls to wash over him. He felt a strong connection with them, a bond that went beyond words. It was thrilling yet intimidating, as if the heat cycle had opened a doorway to something profound. As the dance continued, Jake noticed how the girls leaned closer to him, their bodies brushing against his. The warmth radiating from them made his heart race. He could feel their energy, their need for connection. The air was thick with anticipation. "Jake," Juna whispered, her eyes locked onto his. "Please don't be afraid. We trust you." In that moment, Jake realized that this was more than just a dance. It was a deep expression of their feelings, a way for them to connect during a time of vulnerability. He took a deep breath, feeling the weight of their trust. "I'm here," he said softly. "I'll support you through this." With that promise hanging in the air, the heat cycle began to fully unfold. Jake knew this was a turning point in their journey together, one that would challenge and deepen their bond. As the stars twinkled above them, he felt ready to embrace whatever came next, knowing they would face it together. The moment of truth. The night deepened over Xilara, wrapping the landscape in a blanket of stars. The soft sounds of the forest seemed to fade, replaced by a palpable energy that buzzed in the air. Jake felt a mix of excitement and apprehension as he stood with Lyra, Mira, Kira, and Juna, the girls' emotions swirling around him like a gentle storm. After their dance, the girls were clearly feeling the effects of the heat cycle. They moved closer to him, their eyes shining with a mix of longing and need. Jake could feel their energy, a vibrant warmth that tugged at his heart. It was a moment of truth, a moment that would define their connection. "Jake," Lyra said softly, her voice almost a whisper, "we need to talk. This is a crucial time for us." Jake nodded, his pulse quickening. He knew this was a pivotal moment, one that could change everything. "I'm here. Whatever you need to say, I'm ready to listen." Mira took a deep breath, her eyes reflecting the light of the stars. "During this heat cycle, our needs are stronger than ever. We feel a deep desire for closeness, for connection. We need someone to help us navigate these feelings." Kira stepped forward, her cheeks flushed. "And we want that someone to be you, Jake. But it is important that you understand the weight of this." Jake swallowed hard, feeling the gravity of their words. "I want to help you, but I also want to be sure that you are all comfortable with this." Juna nodded, her expression earnest. "We trust you. You have been kind and understanding, and that means a lot to us. But this is not just about physical connection. It's emotional too." Jake took a moment to absorb what they were saying. He felt honored that they wanted him to be part of this intimate experience, but he also knew it was a big step. "I care about all of you. I want to support you in whatever way I can." The air was thick with tension, a mixture of excitement and nervousness. The girls exchanged glances, their eyes filled with a blend of hope and vulnerability. Jake felt a strong pull toward them, a desire to connect on a deeper level. "Then let's be honest about our feelings," Lyra said, stepping closer. "This is a time of openness. We need to feel safe and cared for." With her words hanging in the air, Jake took a deep breath. He realized that this moment was about more than just physical intimacy. It was about trust, respect, and understanding each other's needs. "Okay," he said, his voice steady. "Let's be open with one another." The girls moved even closer, their warmth surrounding him like a protective cocoon. "We want to share this moment with you," Mira said softly. "But it's essential that you feel the same." Jake's heart raced as he met their gazes. He felt a rush of emotions, excitement, fear, and an overwhelming sense of connection. "I do," he admitted, feeling the truth of his words. "I want to be here for you, to support you in this time." A wave of relief washed over the girls, and their smiles returned. "Then let's take this step together," Kira said, her voice filled with warmth. With that, the air shifted again, charged with an energy that was both thrilling and comforting. They began to move closer, their bodies brushing against one another as they formed a circle. Jake could feel the girls' emotions wrap around him like a warm blanket. In that moment, he understood the depth of their connection and the importance of this shared experience. He felt ready to embrace the heat cycle with them, to explore the emotions that flowed between them. As the stars twinkled above, Jake knew that this was the moment of truth, a moment that would bind them together in a way that none of them could have predicted. With hearts racing and anticipation in the air, they took their first steps into this new chapter of their journey, united by trust and a shared desire for connection. Jake felt a surge of excitement, knowing that whatever happened next would change everything. After the heat cycle, the sun rose over Xilara, casting a golden light across the landscape. Jake woke slowly, feeling a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration from the night before. The events of the heat cycle played through his mind, each moment filled with connection and emotion. He glanced around and saw the girls still sleeping, their bodies intertwined in a peaceful heap. He felt a wave of warmth as he recalled their shared experience. It had been intense, filled with laughter, vulnerability, and moments of deep understanding. He had never felt such a strong bond with anyone before, and the memories felt like a tapestry of emotions woven together. As the sunlight filtered through the trees, Jake decided to let the girls rest a little longer. He quietly rose and stepped outside, breathing in the fresh morning air. The forest was alive with sounds, the chirping of birds and the soft rustle of leaves. It felt peaceful, a contrast to the whirlwind of emotions from the night. Jake thought about how the girls had opened up to him, sharing their feelings and needs. They had trusted him during a vulnerable time, and he felt honored to have been part of that experience. But he also knew that the heat cycle had passed, and things might shift again. After a while, Lyra stirred and had opened her eyes. She smiled when she saw Jake. "Good morning," she said softly, stretching like a cat. "Good morning. How are you feeling?" Jake asked, sitting down beside her. "Better," Lyra replied, her smile brightening. "The heat cycle can be overwhelming, but sharing it with you made it special." Jake felt a rush of warmth at her words. "I'm glad. I felt connected to all of you in a way I never expected." Soon, the other girls began to wake, each smiling and exchanging sleepy greetings. As they gathered around Jake, the atmosphere shifted. They shared stories about the previous night, laughing and reminiscing. It was clear that the experience had deepened their bond, and everyone felt lighter. Kira looked at Jake with a twinkle in her eye. "You handled everything so well. It's not easy to be part of our heat cycle." Jake chuckled, feeling a little embarrassed. "I just wanted to support you. It was a journey for all of us." Mira leaned in closer. "We are grateful to have you with us. You accepted us without judgment, and that means a lot." The girls nodded in agreement, and Jake felt a swell of pride. He had stepped out of his comfort zone, and it had brought them closer together. As they continued to talk, Jake began to notice the slight differences in the girls' demeanor now that the heat cycle had ended. Their restlessness had faded, replaced by a calmness that filled the air. It was as if they had crossed a threshold and emerged stronger and more united. Juna turned to Jake with a thoughtful expression. "Now that the heat cycle is over, we should take time to process everything. It was an intense experience, and it's important to talk about how we feel." "Agreed," Lyra said, her voice firm yet gentle. "Let's share our thoughts and emotions, and make sure we are all on the same page." Jake nodded, appreciating their openness. "I'd like that. I think it's important for all of us to understand what we went through and how it affects us moving forward." They settled in a circle, each taking turns to share their feelings about the heat cycle. As they spoke, Jake listened carefully, feeling the strength of their connections. They were open and honest, discussing not only the joys, but also the challenges they faced during that time. By the end of the discussion, they all felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted. Jake realized that this bond they had formed was not just a fleeting moment. It was the beginning of a deeper friendship that would continue to grow. As the day went on, they decided to celebrate their connection with a picnic by the shimmering lake. They gathered fruits and flowers, laughter filling the air as they prepared. Jake felt a sense of peace, knowing they were embarking on this new journey together, hand in hand, ready to face whatever lay ahead. A new journey begins. The sun climbed higher in the sky, casting a warm glow over Xilara. Jake and the girls spread their picnic blanket by the shimmering lake, the water reflecting the brilliant colors of the sky. The atmosphere was filled with laughter and chatter as they shared their favorite fruits and stories from their past. The tension that had marked the heat cycle had melted away, replaced by a sense of comfort and joy. "This is amazing," Jake said, biting into a sweet, juicy fruit. "I can't believe how beautiful this place is." Lyra smiled, her eyes sparkling with delight. "We are glad you are enjoying it. Sci-Fi is our home, and we want to share its magic with you." As they ate, the conversation flowed freely. The girls shared tales of their childhood, adventures in the glowing forests, and the strange creatures they had encountered. Jake listened intently, feeling a growing bond with each story. He was no longer just an outsider. He was becoming part of their world. After the picnic, Juma suggested, "Let's take a walk around the lake. We can explore and see what other wonders we can find." The group agreed eagerly, and they set off along the water's edge. The soft sound of waves lapping against the shore and the rustling leaves created a serene backdrop for their adventure. As they walked, Mira spotted a group of sparkling creatures flitting between the trees. "Look over there," she exclaimed, pointing excitedly. "Those are lumaflies. They are harmless and beautiful." Jake watched in awe as the lumaflies danced in the air, leaving trails of light behind them. "They look magical," he said, his voice filled with wonder. "Want to catch one?" Kira teased, her eyes twinkling. Jake grinned. "Sure. How do I do that?" The girls giggled, demonstrating how to move quietly and gently reach out. With their guidance, Jake tried to catch a lumafly, but it slipped through his fingers, leaving him laughing. The girls joined in, their laughter echoing through the trees. After some playful attempts, they finally managed to catch a few lumaflies, watching them glow softly in their hands. "These little ones are special," Juna said, her expression serious. "They'd bring good luck to those who care for them." Jake nodded, feeling a sense of connection not only with the girls but also with this enchanting planet. "I'll treasure them," he promised, carefully releasing them back into the air. The lumaflies danced joyfully before flying off into the distance. As the afternoon sun began to dip lower in the sky, Jake felt a surge of gratitude. This adventure was more than just exploration. It was a chance to build a deeper connection with the girls and to learn about their world. "Can I ask something?" Jake said, turning to the girls as they walked. "What happens next? What does the future hold for us?" Lyra smiled, her expression thoughtful. "That is up to us. We can explore together, learn from each other, and build something special." Mira added, "We want to continue sharing our lives with you. We can help you understand more about Sci-Fi, and you can share your world with us too." Jake felt a rush of excitement at the thought. "I would love to show you my world. There's so much to share, my family, my friends, and the beauty of Earth." Kira beamed, her enthusiasm contagious. "That sounds incredible. We can plan visits between our worlds and keep learning together." With every step they took, Jake felt the path ahead becoming clearer. This was not just a temporary adventure. It was the beginning of a new journey. A journey filled with discovery, friendship, and the promise of shared experiences. As they reached the end of the lake, the sun began to set, painting the sky in brilliant shades of orange and pink. Jake took a moment to soak it all in, feeling grateful for this magical world and the incredible friendships he had formed. "Here's to new journeys," he declared, raising an imaginary glass. The girls laughed, their eyes shining with excitement and hope. Together, they stood side by side, ready to embrace whatever adventures lay ahead, united by their shared experiences and a bond that would only grow stronger with time.